a unit to spend, or it's got to be super cool, or it's got to be delivered to the mail or handed out at a trade show. There's always something that becomes the most critical factor. And through the dialogue, as we said, the conversation that we have and our expertise, I'm really good at tracking down what that most important thing is, and then trying to add in all their other wish list items. But there's always something that drives it.
Have you ever walked in, like I know one of the things that makes you most proud is that people hang on to the stuff that you do. It's not something anybody throws away. Have you ever walked into a client who maybe has been given one of your items and you see it there in their office?
All the time, Brennan. And I can say that is really the reward for me. So I do a lot of work with auto dealerships, plate frames, the license plates. When you're looking at a dealership, when they say Jim Trineri or Indy Motorsports or whatever the dealership's name is, when I see those either driving down the road or on the dealership lot, or the plate frames, the little plastic frames that go around the license plate, or the stickers in the back of the car that say Shanahan Creative. I mean, when I see my printing marketing materials out in society, that gives me a major buzz. Or yes, on the retail shelves in the grocery store or the liquor store, or t-shirts that I produce. I was at the zoo last summer with my daughter, and I see a guy wearing a t-shirt that I did a couple years ago for one of the major organizations here in town. And that's the kind of thing that is just so rewarding for me, is to see things that I've touched out there, people utilizing them, enjoying them, not even giving a second thought, maybe in some cases, to them. But when I know that I produced that, it definitely makes me feel special for sure.
Oh my God, absolutely. So quite a few years ago, when the Austin Powers movies came out, I was hired to do the voices for this Austin Powers talking watch. And I remember this was back when, video stores were still around. So I was working nights at the time at a radio station, but I'd always done like voice work and, cartoon characters and video game voice work on the side. So I'm literally looking at movies, and right behind me there's a mother and a son, and I can hear the son playing the watch. And he's hitting the buttons, and he's like, 11:32 a.m. Yeah, baby, yeah. And I'm just like, wow, how do you turn around and go, hey, that's me?
That's wild, man.
You don't do that, but it's like, that's pretty cool, So, and then, I have that same sort of feeling too. Like, my kids hate it because, in the St. Louis area, you almost can't turn on the radio, or couldn't for, the last 20 plus years, without hearing me about every, 5 or 7 minutes coming around, because, I did so many commercials and everything. And, there'd be times where they're just like, oh my God, I don't want to hear them anymore.
That's so cool though. But when your kids can, because so many parents' jobs are, their kids can't relate to, but in each of our cases, our kids, there's something tangible. They can hear you, they can see you, they can see my products. And so it's not just a dumb old dad telling a silly story. And I think that's really has super meaning. So real quickly, one of my old case studies I want to mention was talking about kids and making an impact. So a number of years ago, there was a cartoon called the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls were, I don't know if you remember them, but
absolutely,
these cute little girls that I think they were crime fighters, and they had these big, it was like an anime thing, big eyes.
The great big eyes, yeah.
They fly around. So anyway, it was just the show when my oldest daughter was little. And anyway, Dad being me, got to produce these marketing kits. So the Powerpuff Girl brand was marketing a line of clothing and bath accessories and things to Bed Bath & Beyond and other retailers. And they needed a product launch kit, which I do so many product launch kits for anything you can imagine. But the Powerpuff Girls was fun, and it needed to be neat. So being clothing and closet and bath related, my customer said, what would you do, Jeff? I said, well, let's make a box that looks like a closet, and we'll have the literature die cut in the shape of a hanger and clothing, and we'll have it hang from a closet rod. So when you open this box, you'll see your literature literally would be die-cut clothing hanging in there. But not only that, but this thing had to be fun. So again, Powerpuff Girls was a fun, feminine product line. So we made it out of plastic, and we can custom PMS match or custom match colors in this plastic. So it's a custom pink box, screen printed with all of the fun graphics. It had a bubble logo, a dome decal or a bubble logo on the surface. And again, when you open up this Velcro flat box, we used an aluminum screw post as the closet rod, and all of the literature again was die cut hanging from the rod. And then there's a separate little box on the inside bottom that held more collateral or printing. Really, really cute piece. And anyway, when my daughter saw that, she was probably 4 at the time. She was just blown away by how cool her dad was, that he was making this kit for like her TV, celebrity. I don't want to say heroes, but I mean, it was a connection that she still remembers to this day. So even the other day, I sent her a picture of this at college. I said, "Do you remember this?" She's like, "Oh my God, do not ever throw that away," which I wouldn't do. But just a neat connection, and something. Again, I have two other children who would have no memory or connection to that Powerpuff Girls. But for my oldest, it's a neat connection between the two of us.
Well, I'm really happy that things are going good, and I'm excited to hear about some of the new stuff that you're doing. Why don't you give me one more of your favorites from the past?
So here's one. So as we mentioned earlier, ring binders may not get most people excited, but when I make a binder, they are super, super cool and memorable and amazing. So I'm strong in the spirits industry. I've always done a lot of work with alcohol companies, and you'll see them all over my social media and website just because the graphics are cool. And of course, it at least for adults, it evokes memories, some good, some bad. But anyway, it's something that everyone has a brand that they associate a memory with. So Southern Comfort and the parent company Brown-Forman, I've done a lot of cool packaging pieces for them. So again, a few years back, the Southern Comfort bottle was redesigned. Sexy, new, glamorous bottle. And what do you think of bottle? Glass, clear. It had some really cool debossing and embossing and silhouetting in the bottle. And so they needed a marketing piece, in this case, a 3-ring binder, what they call an on-premise playbook or binder, to basically talk about the brand standards and the marketing and teach their retailers how they should be, showing the brand, retailing the brand, marketing the brand. Just a lot of, it could be boring, but it's not boring when Sneller's involved. So this binder we produced, handmade, full color, silhouette of the bottle on the front, wraps all the way around the side, all of which is really, really pretty. The inside, we used a custom red with kind of a flecked speckled pattern that kind of reinforced the color of the liquid, the Southern Comfort liquid. But the really interesting part of this piece, most ring binders have tab dividers or index tabs, those little things that, kind of separate the contents. And if I'm doing them, they're not going to be boring. So they said, what would you do to make this thing different? And I said, why don't we play off of the whole idea of this marketing piece was, again, the bottle, which is clear glass, see-through. We made these index tabs out of a glass clear plastic or a see-through plastic, which does two things. One, it played off of the bottle, but it also allowed the printing, the colorful printing of all of the different pages to show through the clear plastic tabs. And finally, the tab divider, the tab extension, so the little piece that sticks off the edge that you use your fingers to turn over, instead of making that rectangular, we die cut that in the silhouette or the shape of the bottle. So a very, very unique marketing piece. You've got the clear plastic plays off the bottle, the tab extension itself. It may have never been done before until I touched this thing. Most of them are just square and boring. Is literally in the shape of the bottle, and then the binders themselves. So you put those things together, and not only do you have a beautiful marketing piece, but again, works off of all of the new branding standards, et cetera, et cetera.
And that's something that, when they're passing those binders out, that they're proud to show like, hey, this is kind of cool. And people are looking at it, when they first open that up, like, this isn't just some, boring note cards that are in here. This is kind of a neat presentation. So it helps the overall aesthetic of the presentation for your client.
Exactly.
Well, if you ever do anything for Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, and you want to send me a package of that and maybe some Screwball, I'm totally for that. I mean, that's perfectly fine with me. So
I'm on board with that too, man.
Well, Jeff, it has been a pleasure again. We'll talk again soon. I know that you're getting ready to go on vacation to one of the most beautiful places in the entire planet. I've been there as well, and I'm a little jealous that you're going up there. But you guys have a great time, and when you get back, we'll do another episode, and we'll tell everybody about some more of the cool stuff that you're doing, okay?
Can't wait, man. Appreciate you.
All right, you got it. This is Create Something Amazing with Jeff Snell from Sneller Creative Promotions. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, buddy.
This has been Create Something Amazing, a Sneller Creative podcast. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more episodes. Create Something Amazing is brought to you by Sneller Creative Promotions and produced by thepodcastproshop.com.